Good afternoon. It is time. I have prepared the segment because today's deadline stream is going to be legendary. And yes, I was twirling my mustache like 2 minutes ago. How did you know? Do you have a camera in my apartment? Don't do that. It's fine though, it's fine. We will be discussing everything Limitless today. This is going to be the deadline stream limited edition, Limitless edition. So all your Limitless question and of course non-Limitless questions will be answered. How is everyone doing? Welcome to the stream. We're gonna be here for 2 hours. Probably watch the sprint. I don't know if we will watch the sprint actually, because like the sprint doesn't really impact any of our future decision. It's just like, oh no, they crashed, right? So we'll see if I stay on stream to watch it. If enough people want me to, I might stick around. But up until the deadline, we have so many things to answer, so many things to unravel, so many things to figure out. In fact, if you've been missing me, I've been absent from the internet for a week and a half since my last video, and I mean I've had a lot of stuff going on IRL. I had an exam earlier today. My mom had her birthday yesterday, so was off celebrating her as well. And then also just Valborg celebration in Sweden is pretty huge where I live. So a lot of celebrations and a lot of studying has been going on behind the scene. Let me lower the music volume slightly. So a lot of things have been going on behind the scenes, but we're back. I'm free. We can talk about everything. F1 Fantasy again, and I actually had to remind myself like what I discussed a week and a half ago, and I looked back and like none of that matters now. We're gonna talk about Limitless a lot today, but even if you don't, if you're not planning on Limitlessing, don't worry. This show will still very much be for you, and I'll get to that. But Limitless edition, once we get far enough into the stream, or when we hit the donation goal. The super chat goal, I will reveal what the tip of the week is. So it will be revealed, but it will be revealed earlier if the super chat goal is reached. All right, let me check chat. Who is here? What about 3x versus Limitless? Ask Karibo. 3x is definitely interesting. I hadn't really considered 3x so far, but I feel like a lot of teams aren't really on the 3x spectrum. But we'll discuss that for sure. Optimal Limitless, triple McLaren plus Super Merc plus Max. We will discuss that. What team is that jersey? This is Manchester United's third kit from last year, I believe, or 2 years ago maybe. Man United fan? Unfortunately, yes. But I am wearing it today. I'm repping. Is it finally Alonso time? It might finally be Alonso time. New Merc engines might mean that Merc as a constructor is still better than Ferrari, even with their pit stop points. I agree. I think the pit stop points for Ferrari might not make up for the fact that that car looks absolutely useless. So if you do not remember, let me go to my teams and have a little look, see what's going on here. Let me bring up. Okay. So now that we've settled, let's look at this team, right? So I've not had the best of start to F1 Fantasy 2025, as you may know. And if we go to the starter leagues, my team 2 is better than my team 1, but not by much. I mean, it's 150k, 200k start is truly atrocious. My budget, I would say, is above average. Actually, I always like doing this. If you're in chat right now, post your current budget. Because I want to see where I'm at, sort of survey the field. So if you don't know, you can just go into your team, remove all your assets, and you can see my current budget is 109.6 million. And I'm very curious to see what people's general budgets are. 109.8, okay, slightly above 109.9, 110, 110. 105.1 is unfortunate, but you can always make that up. 109, 109, 108, 110, 107. 112 is insane, Matt Evans. 112 for Fraser as well is also mental. Radio Paddock with 111, 109. So I feel like the average is sort of in that 109 range, meaning that I'm behind on points and behind on budget. Fantastic. But we're gonna do our best to try and salvage this team. This team, ran this last time around. I have 2 free transfers. And in terms of Limitless, okay, I feel like we can't beat around the bush too much. Most of this is going to be about the Limitless. On my team, I've only used the wildcard. And if you check the budget builder tab on F1 Fantasy Tools, which is my favorite tab currently on their website, you can either sort by like simulation odds based on the simulations, or you can just look at required points, right? How many points do each asset need to increase in price? But if we look at the simulation odds, like this takes into account their pace post-sprint qualifying, you could see that the top 4 assets on the tier B driver, so the cheaper driver, your budget driver side, for increasing in price is Behrman, Bortoleto, Ocon, and Hadjar. Behrman, Bortoleto, Ocon, Hadjar. Yeah, I have the same 4. So I currently have the top 4 drivers according to F1 Fantasy Tools already in terms of budget building for this week, which means it's a really good opportunity to use the Limitless, right? If you use your Limitless when your team in the back, meaning the team that your team reverts back to after using Limitless, is good for budget, Limitless is definitely on the table as an option, right? I rode late today on my way to the Miami Grand Prix. Oh my god, I'm so jealous, Carlos. I'm so jealous. Bortoleto owns a high because he has no lose point. I'm well aware, yes. So Bortoleto is like 51% likely to just not increase. But I mean, still 50% chance to increase in prices is pretty good for Bortoleto, I think. But mainly, I have a really good team for Limitlessing. Ignoring what the Limitless can give me for points-wise, budget-wise, my team is essentially ideal. Again, Piastri is by far the best premium driver for this. And then, obviously, I don't have any of the Tier B constructors, but out of the Tier A's, I mean, they're all likely to increase, apart from maybe Red Bull. I can see a good question already, which I'll bring up immediately, and that's Kaisuko asking, I have Gasly, should I Limitless? And I don't think Miami is optimal to Limitless. Carlos Torres, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. Enjoy the Grand Prix. If you have someone like a Gasly, you're gonna lose 0.6 million. That is almost guaranteed. So if you have someone like a Gasly, if you have someone like a Hulkenberg in your team, if you have someone like a Sainz, or maybe even a Doohan in your team, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Will you Limitless? Right now, I'm leaning towards no. And you might be asking, why? That's crazy. It's Miami. It's a sprint race. Sprint weekend. It seems obvious who the top 2 teams are, right? You have Mercedes and McLaren being the obvious 2 fastest teams. You chuck a Max Verstappen in there. Team looks mental. But I've talked about this so much, right? Who are the top 5 qualifiers in the sprints? You have Kimi Antonelli, Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, and then George Russell, right? Where are the overtakes going to come from? Realistically, right? Perhaps the McLarens can overtake the Mercedes on if there's any tire deg, right? Hot track Mercedes usually struggle with that. Do we really think that the overtakes from those top 5 drivers, which we're likely going to pick, maybe you don't go for an Antonelli, maybe you go for someone else, expecting him to drop in the race, but I just don't think it doesn't look optimal. 222 viewers, that is a lot. Make sure you like the stream while you're here. If not now, when is the best time to Limitless? In 2 weeks' time. After Miami, right? If you look at the budget builder, round Round 5 was pretty decent for points. Not awful. I mean, not great, but, you know. I think Imola could be peak. Truly. No, not Monaco. Imola. Like two actual weeks. Next race weekend. In Imola. I think Imola could be optimal. And I just think the qualifying, the sprint qualifying looks too safe. Let's go to the results here. Like where do you see overtakes happening? Right? Stop giving me Miami clothing. I don't care. And whereas sure, budget for my team looks pretty good for this week. I think if you have my team or something adjacent to my team where most of your assets look likely to increase in price, you don't have Gasly, you don't have Doohan, you don't have Sainz, you don't have Hulkenberg, I think Limitless is definitely on the cards. Like, it's not on the cards, it's on the table. Like, the cards are on the table for you to use Limitless. But even then, like, I'm on the fence about it. And for that reason, like, if you're sitting on a Gasly, no way am I doing it. So the option, the question then becomes, if I'm so sure I'm not going to Limitless in Miami, do I use this race to set up for a better budget Limitless in Imola? The answer is I don't know, right? How would that look? Where's the fantasy tab? There we go. So that would look something like this, you know, setting up a cheap constructor to gain the most budget over the next 2 races. Best cheap constructor, I mean, I just can't get away from Haas, right? If we go back to the sprint qualifying results, you have Oliver Behrman starting last again. Fantastic, love that. Sure, you have Ocon in 12th, which is, you know, amazing, but, you know, Ocon has been known to do some stuff. If I put my team in Discord, is it also reviewed here? If you post it in Discord, I will go through as many teams as I can in Discord. As always, we do team submissions at top of the hour, so in 48 minutes time, roughly. So in about 48 minutes time, I'll do the team submissions. I will try and go through as many teams as possible. Back to what I was saying, though. If you want to set it up, say you go for something like Haas, right? You go for Haas, and upgrade Bortoletto would likely be the one. Again, I can't afford Russell here. Maybe you can if you're slightly more rich than I am. But even like a Kimi Antonelli who's starting from pole today, or you leave money in the bank to go for someone like a Liam Lawson or a Fernando Alonso. Perhaps an Alex Albon if he looks on it. You gain budget in Miami, and then since you have Haas carrying into Imola, you gain even more budget then. Now, I'm not saying that's what I'm going to do. That seems a bit crazy. Mercedes can definitely stick there. I mean, these premium constructors are going to increase in price 0.3 million every single time. But for me, like the current transfer I'm just looking at making is a super simple one. Something like Bortoletto to Alonso. And I know I said that Bortoletto was good in the budget builder, but if we actually look at like beyond Bortoletto, because he can't decrease in price, right? Alonso's still looking at a decent chance of increasing in price. And also, I know that the projected points from Liam Lawson doesn't look fantastic, but his required points are quite low, lower than what Alonso's are. So I can see an argument be made for both Lawson and Alonso in this case. In fact, I actually don't know who I prefer out of the two. I think it's Alonso, but I definitely think it's closer than what some people make it out to be. I think there's just a lot of like Lawson, anti-Lawson agenda going on currently. So I can see myself just doing this. I mean, 1 transfer, 3 transfers into Imola. Maybe I Limitless then, who knows? Or I use that second transfer now to set up a better Limitless budget-wise in Imola, right? I think when you Limitless in a non-sprint weekend, there's always an inherent risk involved because you don't know what the qualifying is going to look like. But having seen the sprint qualifying in Miami, it just doesn't look optimal unless it's actually like Mercedes are miles ahead of both Max Verstappen and Ferrari, and they, you know, lock out top 4 both times. And even then, it might not be like completely optimal. It might just be like an above average Limitless weekend. So I'm kind of stuck on the thing, like with Limitless. It's such of an important moment in the season when you use your Limitless, and we could sit here and waffle about it for 45 minutes, and then someone like a Max Verstappen crashes, and suddenly the Limitless is the worst thing that ever happened, you know, to your team over the course of the year. So you never really know with Limitless, and like one DNF to one of your Limitless assets that no one else has is a complete detriment to everything that you're doing. Like everyone's currently sitting on Oscar Piastri, and when I mean everyone, I mean everyone. Let's go back to F1 Fantasy Tools. The elite data site on F1 Fantasy Tools is also fantastic. And you can look at the Global 500, but the thing with the Global 500 is that like almost everyone has bombed all their chips. So I prefer looking at the Patron 500, which I know is populated by people who are in the F1 Fantasy Tools Patron League, which means that they're good at the game. And you can see that by like only 3.2% of people have used their 3x, which I think is more reasonable so far this season. And you can see, 99.6% of people have McLaren, 98.2% of people have Piastri. If you Limitless and someone like a Lando Norris DNFs, well, you're screwed. It's actually just over for you. I don't know what else to say. Let's check the chat for a bit because I've not been looking at it for a bit. I got a super chat from MM. I can't Limitless this week. I need to take -10 to swap Russell out for Antonelli. Worth it. I'm thinking he'd be good to have for budget for Limitless in Imola. I don't think I would not take out Russell for Antonelli. Thank you so much for the super chat, by the way. I would not take out Russell for Antonelli. I think Russell might actually be better for points than Antonelli is. The only thing that is leaning Antonelli's side is maybe a driver of the day. But whereas Russell never gets driver of the day, Antonelli's quite popular. But in terms of budget, I don't think Antonelli is necessarily better for a Limitless build than what Russell is. So for a -10, I don't think it's worth it. If it's for a free transfer, I don't think it's the worst thing you can do. Again, one transfer that I could make, it's not an impossible move to make, is getting Haas and Kimi. I could see myself making that move, but it's not super likely. Ferrari or Mercedes if Limitless in Italy. If Limitless in Italy is the plan. If you're going one of the premium constructors this weekend alongside McLaren, I think it's Mercedes. You kind of have to. Ferrari don't look on the pace at all. I did hear Albon did say on the sprint quali, I think it was a sprint quali or was it the practice, I can't remember. He asked how the Mercedes was legal because it ran so low. It is possible. Right, okay, now I'm gonna put up I don't have a tinfoil. Should I make a tinfoil hat? I feel like I should make a tinfoil hat for when I'm spewing out random theories. But my tinfoil hat is that Mercedes may have set up their car in such a way in the sprint that they are much lower, meaning that they will wear on the floor, on the plank, to try and get as good of a sprint result as possible because they don't think they'll wear the plank down enough over the course of a sprint race. And then after the sprint race is over and the cars exit Parc Fermé, they'll change it and they'll be worse in the main qualifying. I had the same dispute with a mate. You should right now. I don't think that's unreasonable to imagine, right? Ferrari race pace better than it's very possible, yeah. I think right now again, I'm gonna go back to F1 Fantasy Tools. We're gonna look at the proper team calculations later. Yeah, so over the course of the weekend, the simulations currently prefer Mercedes by about 8 points. No negative yay or nay, says Hugo. Welcome back, Hugo. I would say nay. Personally, I think no negative is way better in either Spa or Brazil. But in terms of Ferrari and Mercedes, I do think I would pick Mercedes this week. I don't think it's time to switch to Ferrari just yet. Again, similarly to what I discussed in the video that I posted last week, like my team selection video. Sure, Ferrari are better for those fastest pit stop points, which could amount to like a 10-pointer difference every week. But even if Ferrari outscore Mercedes by like 10 points, the inflexibility you leave yourself with by running Mercedes-Ferrari, or sorry, McLaren-Ferrari, let's do McLaren-Ferrari so I don't keep saying it incorrectly, is that you run out of budget really quickly, right? Okay, obviously the budget here is really low. Let's put it at like a reasonable 109 million. You're less flexible with your premium picks, and if you have Mercedes in there, you have way more budget to play around with to switch out your cheaper assets to go for those premium budget drivers. That's what I was gonna say. As for price increase, I mean, Sainz is here, right? I think someone like a Carlos Sainz is someone we need to keep an eye out over the next couple of weeks. Again, let's go back to the budget builder. Sainz is carrying this -9 pointer from round 4, which will be gone after Miami. And since he's starting P15 in a car that looks way faster, I think Sainz could be on for a really good score again in Miami, similar to last week. And in that case, I think Sainz is very likely to be optimal, if not like near essential in Imola. So that is one thing I will say that speaks towards using the Limitless now. And not using it in Imola, because if you use your Limitless in Imola, you can't buy Sainz, right? And I do think we will want to buy Sainz in Imola, unless he has a DNF again here in Miami. Switch Haas for Williams, Limitless in Imola. I mean, Haas and Williams are super even. I would probably just stick with Haas though, because they're way more likely to increase in price. Let's see. Will I do F1 Predict today again? Yes, I will. Any thoughts on going double cheap Constructor, then FF into McLaren again to prep for Imola Limitless? You cannot final fix Constructors. Otherwise that would be a big brain play. But you can only final fix drivers. So I don't think that is a viable play. I think you lose too much points with going without McLaren. I think the single cheap Constructor is decent for sure. I think that's definitely an option. 3x over Limitless only if you have a team for it, Jim. Which is you need 2 premium drivers in there. So maybe if you have like Piastri, can you even afford Piastri plus Norris and McLaren? I mean, no way. Okay, the reason why I'm against the 3x in general, Jim, early this season, is that like, how do you actually afford this? Obviously, you're not gonna run Kicksauber. Maybe you stretch it to like an Alpine, but it's probably like even a Haas at 10 million. And they're like, how do you ever fit this in to a current team? And currently, the only team I would want to have for a 3x, yeah, I'm 0.9 million away from affording this. Like, this is this with Isaac Hadra in there is the only team I would 3x with, right? So I would not 3x with Antonelli. I would not 3x with like Piastri Antonelli. I would not 3x. I would not 3x Piastri Russell. I would 3x Piastri Norris. And I want to 3x Piastri Norris if McLaren are going to keep being so dominant this season. So I'm saving my 3x for a sprint weekend when I can afford something like this. Or maybe even, if it's future budget and, we're going crazy, maybe I can even afford a Mercedes in there. Alonso over Lawson, Lawson or Alonso. 2 questions back to back. Another Alonso or Lawson if Limitless and Imola. I think this is by far the closest one this season. And that segues me perfectly into... let me bring up Canva. Let me fix this up. to do, but that's okay. Something like that. No. There we go. Perfect censoring. Hey, professional streamer. What can I say? So this was obviously last week. Let me get that flag in there, so we know what we're talking about. Obviously not the case. Let me just boom, remove everything. Get it all in a pile. It's time to rate the drivers. Obviously, this is only for the Miami Grand Prix, not how they are as people or how they, you know, how talented they are as drivers. This is just for points potential or budget or like overall asset potential for the Miami Grand Prix. Let me see. Where is the American flag? There you go. Freedom. The freedom flag. Let's put it up here. Let's make it a little bit smaller. I'm not that American. Alright, so Miami Grand Prix driver tier list. Alright, chuck a driver at me. Who do we want to rate first? Chuck a driver. Which one do we want? Yeah, hit the like, guys. If you haven't liked the stream yet, make sure you do so. 300 people in chat currently. Thank you so much for the continued support. Make sure you like the stream. It really does help a ton. Bigger number, better person. That's usually how it goes. All right. Jim Repair first with George Russell. He is also very fittingly here at the top. Okay, listen. I don't think Russell is that bad. Now, the problem is we're going to have... Oh, this is annoying. I want to switch to the budget builder side a lot. I need to set that up for next week. We'll do this. Doom, and then boom. There we go. Russell doesn't need that many points to increase in price, all things considered. Now, he's starting P5. Mercedes look fast. Can he overtake Max? Probably. Can he overtake the McLarens as well? I don't think so. So we're not looking at a massive score. Sorry, in the sprint race. Can he do better in the quali, main quali, and then better in the main race? If it's going to be hot, I mean, it's looking like it's going to be a scorching one tomorrow from Miami. All things considered, though, his price still allows him to be a decent asset. I think Russell is like the quintessential B tier. Like, you're not going to... I forgot to switch again. You're not going to lose out, you know, your mini league if you pick Russell. But I don't think he's the optimal pick. All right. Let's do another one. All right. First one to write a name after what Celtic just said. Give me a driver. And then like the stream. Sainz, says Sanja. Alright. Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz, I think is very interesting. I think points-wise, he's like bordering S, right? He looks really good for points this week. He's probably one of the best. I mean, I think Behrman looks the best in terms of starting further back, getting points. You know, P20, Haas is good race pace, and like guaranteed for budget. But as for Sainz, points-wise, he looks really good starting for P15. The problem is like he needs way too many, way too many points, like an unachievable amount of points to actually increase a lot in price. Let me go to the budget builder once again. We're going to switch back and forth a lot during this segment. Carlos Sainz needs 25 points to not decrease in price. I need you to get that into your minds. To not decrease, he needs 25 points. To increase the maximum, he needs 34. I don't see that happening unless like there's a massive crash and he like goes P15 to P3 in the sprint. So I don't think this is happening. Meaning that he's likely losing points. Now, can he get 16 points and only drop 0.2? Definitely. But I think he's very likely to be on for like another 13, 14 pointer and just drop 0.6 million again. So for that reason, I don't think the upside of his points is worth dropping that much in budget just yet, when you can just avoid that budget drop. Now, obviously something could happen and then suddenly Carlos Sainz is, up in the, he goes P8 and gets 35 points, driver of the day. I don't know. I just don't think that's going to happen. So for that reason, Carlos Sainz will only be a C tier driver for this race. However, I think I can't stress it enough how likely it is for Carlos Sainz to be S tier in Imola. And I think, honestly, the main thing talking about the main point in favor of using the Limitless in Miami is so that you can do the Sainz transfer in Imola, because if you Limitless in Imola, you can't bring Sainz in. Since we already spoke about it, I'm gonna do Oliver Behrman, because I do think they're very much in the same category of driver. They're close to each other in price now as well. Oliver Behrman is starting from P20. He's the most likely driver to increase in price among the cheap drivers. He's an obvious S. Like, if you don't have Oliver Behrman in your team, he is the obvious transfer this week for anything. Like, I would drop all Limitless and 3x plans if you don't have Oliver Behrman in your team. I think Oliver Behrman is must have the must-have driver currently in the game. We have some people talking about Ocon here. I see 2 people in a row saying Ocon, including Radio Paddock. Shout out. So make sure you like the stream as we talk about Esteban Ocon. Esteban Ocon currently in my team on the budget builder site. He is, middle of the ground. He needs a 12-pointer, but from where he's starting, the race pace of the Haas, I don't think that's unreasonable. I think the 4-pointer for plus 0.2 points is very, very likely. So I do like Ocon. And on the post-sprint qualifying simulations, Ocon is actually third best, because he's very, very likely to just increase 0.2, and they do think he's going to increase 35% likely to increase 0.6. Looks on for a 9-pointer here, and 9-pointer, which would be incredible for Ocon. I do think there comes a time when Ocon's price, that's his current price actually, sorry. They say he's going to get 5.8 points apparently, which is enough for this. He's currently 9.1 million. I do think there comes a time where Ocon becomes too expensive if he keeps on this level of increase every week. As you can see with like Sainz and Albon, the points that they need to reach at their price points are so high that it's really hard for them to reach it. I mean, you just look at Albon, who's super likely to drop in, who's quite likely to drop in price, but also not very likely to increase the maximum at all, even though he's in a fast car and is performing really well. So, Esteban Ocon, I think, is really, really good. I do think, however, soon he's going to fall off. That has not happened yet. But, for now, he's an A tier. I do think his price is slightly on the high side for me to consider him in S tier. What about Albon this week and Limitless in Imola? I think it's definitely possible. I don't think Albon's bad. Albon's just going to increase 0.2 million. So at that point, wouldn't you just want like Russell instead anyway? Because Russell's gonna get you more points and likely increase 0.3 million in Imola. Do you understand what I'm saying here, Norway? Lol Norway. No funny name, but yeah. So if you can afford, all right, let's since I'm talking about this, I do think we'll go to a quick chat about Alex Albon, because I do think this is interesting, and I do like spinning off of your comments in chat. So sorry if you're spamming someone else. Let me find Alex Albon in this mess of a pile. Similarly to what I talked about previously, right, is that if I want to set up my team to gain a lot of budget in Imola, I could do Mercedes to someone like a Haas or a Williams, and then upgrade Gabriel Bortoleto, and I could reach to someone like an Alex Albon with the Williams constructor. Now the thing is, Alex Albon, again, probably only increasing 0.2 million, very unlikely to increase 0.6. These top drivers are increasing 0.3 if they have really good races, and I definitely think after something like, how many points they will score in a sprint weekend, because the quantity of points is still a lot, right? I do think that someone like a Russell or an Antonelli, like, why upgrade to Albon for budget when Antonelli and Russell either is just going to increase 0.1 million less or increase 0.1 million more, which, like, the range there is so minimal, you might as well go for it, and they get more points for you this week, likely. So for that reason, I think if you're going for something like this, which again, I think this is a very, very reasonable play to make this week, I would much rather go for Kimi Antonelli or George Russell alongside Piastri rather than Alex Albon. Now, with that said, I don't think Alex Albon is bad. For example, if you're one of those freaks with like 113 million in the bank, you might want to start cashing in that budget in points already, and maybe you can fit Alex Albon alongside this team, right? Maybe you have enough budget to go for Alex Albon here instead of Ocon, and I don't think that's like a bad play at all. And I think you could actually gain a couple of points playing that way, especially since Ocon is like not guaranteed to increase 0.6 or anything like that. Like Ocon is probably just going to increase 0.2 million, which Alex Albon is also like very, very likely to do. So I think Alex Albon is definitely good. I think he's B tier though. He's slightly expensive, and in terms of it's hard to fit him in, and for the people who can fit him in, you have to be like a different level of rich to like properly consider him. All right, let's get some more drivers in here. Oh, is it raining? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That could be interesting. I would love a rainy Miami. We haven't seen that yet. Yuki. All right. Now, Yuki Tsunoda. Very, very interesting. Again, we're going to switch back and forth. But I do think it is very, very reasonable to show the team calculator side for this, right? Now, obviously, Yuki is not an option for most of us. Again, most of us are sitting on something like this. Let's go to my team one. In terms of my team one, I how do I fit Yuki in here? I can't without like selling Piastri or like completely ruining my structure. And I think the structure is still the structure. It is still the meta for a reason. So don't go and screw that up by picking someone like a Yuki Tsunoda just because he's starting what, P16, P17? I can't remember. But I do think there's something to say, like if you're going to Limitless, I think it's quite interesting that like Yuki Tsunoda still pops up here as an option. And I don't think it's completely unreasonable because in terms of the sprint race, he's actually the one with a lot of potential for points compared to someone like... I would honestly pick Tsunoda over Leclerc or Hamilton on a Limitless. Like no joke, actually I would pick Tsunoda over them just because of where he's starting in the sprints. The problem is if I were to go for that kind of punt, I would rather go for like a Red Bull racing punt than Tsunoda. So I think I realistically cannot put Tsunoda any higher than a C tier in the tier list. I don't think it's F because he's not unpickable. F tier is like the worst of the worst. If you pick this, you're trolling. I don't think you're like... I see a valid point in like maybe picking Tsunoda on a Limitless, but not more than that. A super chat from Jifko. Should I Limitless? I have exactly your team, one team with 3 free transfers. I will answer that when I reveal my... okay, there are pros and cons to it, right? I think the main con is that like if you're Limitless in Imola, if you don't Limitless now and you're Limitless in Imola, you can't buy signs because you will want to buy signs in Imola. But I also don't think it's good enough this week. I probably won't, but you'll see when I reveal the tip of the week. The tip of the week Limitless edition. But thank you so much for the super chat, man. And if you stick around, you'll get an exact answer to your question. Yuki pit lane. Interesting. I had not seen that. Thank you so much. I completely missed that. So Yuki starting from the pit lane. Does that change my opinion on him in the sprint? Yeah, it does. Because like if he's not among them, he's not gonna do overtakes on the start. He's gonna be behind. Okay, yeah, that actually changes a bit, I think. I think that devalues him because like the main value of Yuki Tsunoda is probably in the actual sprint race. But he's also starting last. So if there's rain and like if there's all that's needed is one crash and he's, you know, kind of in it. Now, I think it's still C tier. I don't think it changes his grade, but it does change a bit about how you consider him. All right, next driver. What about Limitless in Monaco? I think Limitless in Monaco is reasonable. It's just like right now we're aiming for Imola. I think if you're considering Limitless in Monaco, you should consider Limitless in Imola. So you go into Imola. You go into Imola with the mindset that you might Limitless, but say like 2 or 3 of your drivers DNF in Miami and won't increase in price in Imola, then obviously you do normal transfers and then try and use the Limitless in Monaco. So I think Limitless in Monaco is mainly there as a backup plan. Born to Drift says Alonso, and I do like talking about Fernando Alonso. I think Fernando Alonso is an A tier. I think he's very, very solid. You're going to see quite a big bunch of drivers in A tier today, because I think there's a lot of those cheap drivers that are just good options, right? I think the main question is Alonso versus Lawson. I do think Ocon is better than the two of them, but Alonso versus Lawson is really, really close. I think there's a lot of Liam Lawson hate going around. Lawson needs less points than Alonso to increase the maximum. He's starting further back. Do we think Alonso can gain any positions from where he's starting in the sprint quali, which again is intense? I don't know. Do we think Lawson can overtake someone like a Gasly, Ocon? Probably can overtake a Hulkenberg, right? Maybe can overtake Ocon, maybe Gasly. But the problem with Liam Lawson in 14th is that staring behind him is Carlos Sainz. And I do think Carlos Sainz is going to be fast enough to overtake Liam Lawson. And if Liam Lawson then ends up behind Carlos Sainz, he's not going to have those opportunities for overtakes. So I don't just think it's like the position of where they are on the grid that matters, it's also who's behind them. Because look at Fernando Alonso, he has Hulkenberg behind them. So I don't think Alonso, unless Alonso has a bad start, Alonso's not going to drop in the race. Like, I could see a gap being built between Alonso and Hulkenberg, and then like Ocon and Gasly Ocon and Gasly can overtake Hulkenberg, but can't overtake Alonso because there has a gap has formed between them. And Alonso could definitely outmaneuver an Isaac Hadjar. So for that reason, just where they are on the grid and who's behind them for once, I do think that. I do think that Alonso is slightly better than Lawson, but I don't think Lawson is bad. So yeah. I tossed Doohan for Alonso. I do think Doohan is a toss this week. Again, Doohan for his price, if you can't afford anyone else, I think it's okay to have him. But I'm not excited to own Doohan this race. I think Doohan is definitely on the sell list for a lot of people. And if you have Doohan or Pierre Gasly, I think you do not Limitless and you sell them. Gasly's an F tier because I think you're actively harboring your team. Gasly is going to decrease in price almost 100% of the time, and seeing as Gasly DNF'd last race, right? Let's go to the budget builder and switch it to the correct one. I really need to do a shortcut for that, but I'll do that for next stream. Gasly had his DNF in round 5. Meaning that this is going to carry on until after Imola. Meaning that Gasly is going to decrease 0.6 million, or he's likely going to decrease in the next 2 races. And you just don't want that with an asset at all. So I think it's a complete throw buying Gasly this week. It's a complete throw not selling Gasly. Same reason as Tsunoda. Like, Tsunoda is only C tier because like the only reason you would own Tsunoda is to own him on a Limitless team, right? Where you don't care about the budget. I mean, you do not buy these 2 assets this race, like, whatsoever. This minus 17 is going to haunt them for a while. Like, remember, Gasly has this atrocious of a required points in budget building, right? 28 and 36, and he has a 13-pointer in there, which is a really, really good score. It's just that this minus 17 is ruining him, and if he gets less than 13 points in the next race, this is gonna be worse in Imola. So yeah, Gasly's a complete avoid. Gasly has to be sold. If you have Gasly, you do not Limitless this week. You 100% sell him. Back to the tier list. Who do we have left? Who do you want to see? Who should I rate? Kimi. Kimi is interesting. The pole kid. The kid on pole. Super excited for him, by the way. Very, very hyped for Kimi Antonelli getting pole. I think Kimi, despite the pole, is B tier. He is just similarly to Russell and kind of Yuki Tsunoda as well, is in that awkward price category where it's really hard to fit him into your team. I think if you're downgrading one of your cheap assets, if you're downgrading one of your premium constructors to a cheap constructor, I think upgrading to Kimi or Russell is reasonable. But I do think both of them are B tier as of this race. They're not bad. You're not going to lose out if you have Kim in your team. But they're far from, like, optimal. Rain started to fall. Inter's rain. Super interesting. Okay, I've already rated Ocon. Ghost Brady. You can see him on the list. He's A tier. El Pepe says Bortoleto. Let's talk about Gabriel Bortoleto. I think Gabriel Bortoleto has to be A tier. I mean, he's just not going to decrease in price. You never lose out by having Bortoleto, right? Oh, you're blind. that is okay. That happens. That happens. Yeah. So Bortoleto is an A tier asset. Has to be. He could be on for a price increase in this race as well, which is hype. But even if he's not, he's just not going to decrease in price. So you never lose out by having him. His cheap price enables you to have other more important drivers. 304 people in chat, only 131 likes. Let's get that out to 150 likes right now. 20 likes, boom, 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 and then I'll move on to the next one. Yeah, Bortoleto is an easy A tier pick for me. Easy A tier pick. We can definitely hit 150 likes like right now. 15 minutes, by the way, until team submissions. And then after team submissions, I will do. After team submissions, I will do the tip of the week and F1 predict. Those are the two things I will do after team submissions. So if you haven't liked the stream, make sure you do so. 145. 5 more people can like the stream and we'll move on. 1 hour and 15. No, yeah, 1 hour and 15 minutes to the deadline. But 15 minutes until we do team submissions. And also, you know, lock in my team. That is something that needs to be done. Ocon or Sainz? I think Ocon for this race, and then sell Ocon to Sainz the next race. I think that's the play. Okay, let's move on. Did we hit 150 likes? 149. Come on, one more. One more. Perfect. Thank you very much. Always appreciate the likes, guys, and the support on the stream. Moving on, we go to... let's just talk about Nico Hülkenberg. F tier. Don't pick Nico Hülkenberg. Next. A bunch of premium drivers here. Let's do those last. I mean, let's just do Piastri, right? Like, do I need to say anything else? His price, he's just way too cheap. He looks absolutely on it. I don't think anyone will argue with me when I put Piastri in S tier. I do, however, think, I will say this, sorry for screaming, I do think Behrman is more essential than Piastri, because I think you can get away with running something like a Russell instead of Piastri. Whereas, like, if you're not running Behrman as one of your cheap drivers, I think you're kind of trolling. So I do think Behrman is more must-have as an asset. Yeah, I just scream sometimes. I get excited, okay? What can I say? We have 2 cheap boys remaining. Do we want Stroll or Hadjar first? First one to type Stroll or Hadjar wins. You're a mod, that doesn't count. Okay, Calendar said Stroll. We'll do Stroll. Lance Stroll... Lance Stroll is just yucky now, right? Go to the asset at the start of the season. Now he's just not very exciting at all. I think Lance Stroll, I don't think you're... I mean, you're not actively ruining your team. Oh, you're actively ruining your team by picking Lance Stroll? The thing is with Lance Stroll is, like, for his price, there's just so many better options, man. I mean, it's not even really close. 9.1 million. Ocon is 9.1. Behrman is 8.5. I mean, you pick those over Stroll any time. And he's not likely to increase in price at all. I'm gonna say that Stroll... He's top of F tier. Stroll is top of F tier, right? Listen, I think you should sell Stroll. I think you should sell Stroll this week if you have him. I think there's so many better options. There's no reason to really have him anymore. But like apart from like Hulk and Gasly, like actively hurt your team more. You're actively ruining your mojo if you pick Lance. That is true though. That is 100% true. Also, let's see. Yeah, sorry, my pop-outs stopped working. Yeah, we'll talk about Leclerc in a second. Let me just fix the pop-up. There we go. When is team submissions? In 10 minutes. Charles Leclerc. Listen, you know how badly I want to like smack Leclerc up here. But I mean, realistically, like, what can I say? I mean, why would you ever pick them over Piastri? Are they F tier? No. I mean, they're gonna get points. But like, why? Why not just go for Piastri, man? So really, there's actually just no reason. And it's unfortunate, but like Ferrari are just bad. The Ferrari Constructor is decent. I think Ferrari Constructor is like probably like at least A tier. But like individually, you know. Maybe you try F1 Predict before submissions. Might get lost in time otherwise. No, I'll have time. I'll cut submissions short if we run out of time. This rank is for budget or points. Overall, that's just like assets, right? Alright, Isaac Hadjar. Is Isaac Hadjar S tier? Yeah, he is. I mean, you have to put Hadjar in S tier. Bottom of S tier, granted, but like Hadjar's so good. So good, so cheap. No reason not to have him. I think like Hadjar and Behrman should be on every team. There's really no reason not to have them. It's not like budget is a problem with Hadjar. Maybe budget is a problem with Behrman, but like I would rather have Behrman Russell than like Piastri Doohan, and I'm not even joking. And then we have the rivals. For the rivals, Max Verstappen. I mean, Max Verstappen can always do things in the rain, but I can't put them either higher than B tier. Obviously, they're definitely, you definitely pick them on a Limitless, but for like your regular team, I don't think you go for these two. I think they're still too expensive compared to what you can do with your teams. So this is the team. This is the tier list. Is there anything on this tier list that you actively disagree with? Last time someone said something in chat, and I was like, "Yeah, you're probably right," and moved them. Is anything incorrect here? Would you move anything? Even switch places with them? Move Antonelli A tier because of driver delay possibility. Russell A tier. I think they belong in top of B tier. I see what you mean. It's just like the gulf between them and Piastri is so big. Kimi A. Lawson above Alonso for overtakes. I can definitely see that, sure. But, you know, also, Alonso's no... I talked about that. Like, Alonso has Hulkenberg behind him. Lawson has Sainz behind him. So, it's also no negatives that are Limitless in Miami. I'm going to say my no negative. I don't think it's no negative time. Just yet. Should you Limitless? A bit less budget. I can see overtakes in Imola making up for a sprint race. Yeah, overtakes in Imola is... like, that's why you want to Limitless in Imola. Because there are less overtakes. Like, the cheaper assets are better in Miami than they are in Imola. Russell as B tier seems a bit much. I think he belongs there, man. Do you think he should be lower? I don't think he should be lower. I think there's an argument for putting him in A, but... Lando over Max? I can see that. I think they're very close. But like it's gonna rain, right? Max is gonna win, surely. I just think Atlanta's so expensive. That's the main reason I'm putting Max over. Big question for the day: should the meta team go limitless? Carlos just got here. Quick question: don't recommend to use limitless today. You would be somewhat correct. Listen, I don't want to spoil the tip of the week. Okay. Tip of the week will come when it's time for the tip of the week. So I appreciate you being here. But one of the, I mean, the main question is, right? Where was that? Who was it that said that? Yeah, Brennan said, big question for the day: should the meta teams go limitless? I think this is the main question, and similarly to Carlos's question, that gets into tip of the week territory. Have I written tip of the week here? That gets into tip of the week territory. So I'm not gonna say it just yet. We're holding it until either the goal is met or until after team submissions. Still raining, by the way. Exciting stuff. Any good options for final fix? Okay. Before we do team submissions, let me cook. Okay? Hold on. I'm gonna go get something. Okay. I have the tinfoil hats. Hey. Let's up the music a little bit. Okay. Now we're ready to cook. Someone said, any good options for final fix? Are you ready for the most mental thing you've ever heard in your entire life? Here it comes. Imagine this. Wait, we gotta... Okay. Imagine this. You have the meta team. Yeah, lock in. Okay, I need you guys. I have no other way to explain this other than to like. Alright, so I need you guys to lock in and listen to me. If you have the meta team, and if you're like me and you're like, Limitless, Miami, not for me. And you're like, Limitless and Imola, very nice. And I want more budget. Greedy budget. We already talked about how you could do, you know, Mercedes to, let's say, Haas, right? I'm gonna put Racing Bulls in. I'm gonna put like Aston Martin in there just because, you know, I need some more budget in here. But you need a bit more budget than what I have, or have different assets. It's fine. What you do is you use your 2 transfers and you go, you know, cheap asset. I'm gonna go Haas here, okay? And hold on, where is he? You take one of your cheap assets that you don't want, say it's Bortoletto, go to Alonso, whatever, and this is your 2 transfers. You do this, okay? But look what we have here. That's a lot of budget. So you do this, and then you final fix like Alonso or whoever, like maybe Ocon, right? After or before qualifying. Or after qualifying, your choice. You final fix to get like George Russell in, or a Lewis Hamilton, or a Charles Leclerc, or whoever you want. What have I just walked into? We're cooking, okay? I'm screaming again. We're cooking. You see what I mean, right? You final fix, so you get the budget from having like a Haas. You get the budget from having cheap assets. You final fix to get the points from Russell in Miami. Then you Limitless and Imola. That's my best option for final fix. You see the line, right? You see the line. It is tinfoil hat, but like it's not the worst thing you've seen. Okay, let me. I don't know what just possessed me, but that is what you could do. It does revert Ocon. After final fixing, it reverts. Where is... Using the final phase mega changes to be in a qualifier, you will not incur a Your original team selection will be restored following the race, so you get Ocon back. See, I have a vision. I have seen the line. Now, do I think this is optimal play? Probably not. Is it fun? Yes. Could it work? Also, yes. So 3x is not a good idea. I don't think 3. I think we talked about this a bit earlier. But with 3x, realistically, you want to like have this, and you cannot afford this right now. All right. With that said, let's move over to team submissions. If you haven't been here before, team submissions is something we do top of the hour every deadline stream, where I go through your teams. And now I have to preface this at the beginning every time. And I know it sucks. I can't go through all of them. There's just too many. So, I will go through them, pick some that I think are interesting to talk about. Hopefully, some of you guys have similar looking teams. And if I happen to skip over yours, don't take it personally. Just listen to the conversation. Maybe you can figure out what to do with your team based on what I say about someone else's team. Because I would rather talk about 5 minutes about like 10 teams than say one word for each team, right? 20-ish submissions. It's not too bad. We do them in Discord as well. Because of I hate to throw you on the bus, Evie, but like long messages like that with everything just written out confuse my brain. I need to see it visually to like actually like see the lines, you know. I'm a visual learner. Reading it makes me lose my mind. Who would you 2x on Limitless? I would... Okay, I will say this before, because I think that's really, really interesting. Where is that comment? If you Limitless this week, I would not 2x Piastri, because everyone has Piastri, so what's the point? You want to earn points, you want to be differential on the Limitless 100%. So on 2x, I would on Limitless, I would 2x either Max or Lando. Probably Lando. Max is going to be driver of the day. Do Max? Yeah. I think that's totally reasonable. I think Max could definitely get driver of the day, especially if it's going to be rainy. Also, your cooking has me thinking really hard about my team one. Yep. What are the red flags for not using Limitless? Just that, like the drivers that you want to pick all qualified 1 through 5, right? Because you're picking Mercedes, McLaren, Red Bull every time. That's just like the optimal Limitless, and there's not that many overtakes for them to gain in the sprint. All right, let's. Yeah, no, but I mean Rain and Child. Yeah, for sure. Voila. I was thinking it's Child too. And I mean we've seen with the driver. Okay, if Max gets like a P6 and gets driver of the day because he's had a child, I will drop a full like Tomo F1 video style essay on driver of the day being dog shit. Sorry for swearing, I don't usually do that, but I feel like driver of the day deserved that drop. Alright, let's talk about your team submissions. All right, where do we have them? Perfect. All right. I will go up to the top, and we have it here. Now I need to remember what all of these things mean. I've already forgotten. Yeah, classic meta. Something cooking. Did the team. All right, perfect. Yeah. I got it. I am. All right. So let's talk a bit about classic meta, because I know a lot of people are on the meta. I mean, if you look at the top 500 patron on F1 Fantasy Tools, let's start with the music a bit. If you have the meta team, Limitless is an option, and I think you definitely can go Limitless with something like this. If it's Bortoleto instead of Alonso, that's also completely fine. I think the key is, if you want a Limitless, is do you have like Piastri, Behrman, Hadjar, McLaren, Mercedes, or McLaren, Haas, Williams, any cheap constructor. And then alongside that, you don't have like Gasly, Doohan, and the like. So you can Limitless. Am I saying you should? That's up to you. But in terms of free transfers, I think it's very, very simple to just move to something like an Alonso, move to something like a Lawson, move to something like an Ocon, whatever you can do with those transfers. The other option, obviously, is if you are then not planning on limitlessing and you want to limitless in Imola, is do you switch to a cheap constructor to gain budget this race? I think those are the main two questions that the classic meta teams have for this race. But I would say let me find a team actually that has Gasly in there. Here, perfect. If you have this team, you don't limitless, right? So current team, thanks Gasly, exactly. Looking to go limitless in Imola, I agree. If you are on this version of the meta team, you will get rid of Gasly. 9 times out of 10. This could be Ocon, this could be Alonso, this could be Lawson. Who else could it be? It kind of could be Albon if you have enough money for it. I think that's like the no-brain move, and then you just hope that you can go for limitless in Imola. So perfect, love that we had that. More classic meta. Again, there's a lot of classic metas. Want to limitless in Imola with my two other teams. If you're limitlessing in Imola with your two other teams, well, then go differential with this one. Again, I don't think limitless is going to be awful in Miami. I just don't think it might. I just don't think it's going to be the best one, right? I think if I were to place money on like, okay, here are all the 24 races of the season, where do you think Miami Limitless will rank in terms of delta points compared to non-limitless teams? I would put Miami currently like bang average, somewhere in the middle. It doesn't look bad, it doesn't look great. Whereas like something like Saudi was turned out to be amazing for limitless, and Japan as well. And we're hoping Imola will. Again, more classic meta, same team as me. Either you do Bortoleto up to something, or you go limitless, or you go like Mercedes down to Haas and do my crazy tinfoil hat play. It's up to you, realistically. All right. Lobo says, please help. Take -10 to get out 2 Alpine assets for Piastri and Merck, or just make 2 transfers. This is really interesting. Okay, so you're sitting with Norris in there. Don't love it. Obviously, like on a non-limitless team, Piastri, and even on a limitless team, you kind of want Piastri in there. So I do get taking the -10 to get 2 Alpine assets out. However, I will say, I don't think you need to take a -10 here. Let's look at the budget builder for Alpine. Alpine can definitely increase in price this race, right? Obviously, it doesn't look amazing, but I don't think you need to get rid of the Alpine Constructor. And what I mean by that is similarly to how I talked previously about those with the meta team, that they can downgrade to something like a Haas or a V-Carb if they want to be differential and go for budget building over points in Miami, and then gain a lot of budget by limitlessing in Imola, and then moving on from there, and then transferring that cheap constructor out. Since you're already on a cheap constructor, I say don't get rid of Alpine. I say you sell Norris and you sell Gasly. You sell Norris down to Piastri, and then you sell Gasly to, again, whichever. It could be Albon, it could be Ocon, it's probably Ocon. It could be Alonso, it could be Lawson, whichever one you fancy, right? You keep Alpine, hope that they increase 0.6 million, which they definitely can. And then after this race, if your team looks good, no one has DNF'd, and you know most of your drivers, most of your constructors look likely to increase in price in Imola, then you use your Limitless in Imola. You have Alpine in the back, which, you know, like Haas is more optimal in the back than Alpine, but like it's potato, right? And then you move on from there, and then in Monaco you can finally then transfer them out. You don't have to take the -10. So I think you can definitely avoid taking a -10 here by keeping Alpine for one more race in terms of budget, and just hope that Alpine get enough points to increase 0.6 million. So I think really interesting that you're already on a sort of team and you like. So I definitely see the problems here, but like Bortoleto, Hadjar, Berman, McLaren are totally fine. So I would do Norris and Gasly to Piastri plus one free driver of your one cheap driver of your choice. All right, trying to go for a Limitless in Imola. Should I swap Ocon for Sainz or Lawson? Sainz is interesting, right? Because obviously you would want Sainz in Imola, but obviously you don't want Sainz this race. But maybe you could buy Sainz this week already. Eat the budget loss this week, since he's likely to gain decent points starting from P15 today. Yeah, maybe Sainz isn't that bad. Like, you know, there's a bit of budget loss in there, but points wise, and then if you're Limitless in Imola, you hope that he can be good there. I actually don't hate Sainz. I actually don't hate that switch. Obviously, then Ocon looks better. If you have 2 free transfers, the key, I would probably do like Alonso. You obviously can't do Alonso up to Sainz then. It's hard, right? Because Ocon is still not bad, so selling Ocon feels bad. But Ocon is also starting like P12, so I mean, interesting. If you can definitely go for Sainz. Just be aware that you're gonna lose budget this race. But if you're like set on Limitlessing in Imola, and you know that you can't get Sainz then anyway, because then if you're Limitlessing in Imola, you're buying Sainz in Monaco likely, right? That makes sense. So if you Limitless in, okay, that makes sense, right? If you Limitless in Imola and can't buy Sainz there, you scroll past a few of the earlier submissions. I will get back to those. If you Limitless in Imola, you can't buy Sainz, but you would want Sainz, so you buy him in Monaco, and by that point he's gone up 0.6 million in price, you know, preferably. Yeah, so maybe you go for Sainz anyway this race. I don't hate it. I actually don't hate it at all. That's actually really interesting. That's not a good strategy. It's better to have Williams. I disagree. No, I actually disagree, because I think, like, again, let's look at... Okay, let's take a short break from this and talk about Sainz, because this actually made me think. Points-wise, Sainz looks insane for this race, right? Among the best, like up there with Behrman. If we go with my team 1, all right, let's see. Okay. Okay, tinfoil hat is back on. Carlos Sainz is preferred according to F1 Fantasy Tools simulations in terms of points. Now, he's obviously going to drop in price. But if, you know, where's the... here we go, budget builder. The problem with Sainz is this one, the -9 that he got in round 4 from the DNF. If Sainz doesn't DNF and just has an average race, he is going to be bound to increase in price in Imola. And if your strategy, if your plan is to Limitless in Imola, you can't buy Sainz in Imola. Sainz is going to go up in price. So Sainz is going to go down in price in Miami, then up in price in Imola. And then he's going to, you know, when you want to buy him in Monaco, he's going to basically be the same price as he is now anyway. Right? That makes sense, right? Sainz in Monaco is going to cost the same as Sainz does now. Because he's going to go down now, up in Imola. So, if you are planning on limitlessing in Imola, why not just buy Sainz now if you can afford him, and you'll have him in Imola? I don't think it's the best strategy, but I don't think it's bad either. Alright. Alright, that's my Sainz rant. I think buying Sainz now is definitely a play. But you wanted to get points. You're buying it for the points, not for the budget. Let's move on. I missed some earlier on. Let's scroll back. I thought I got the earliest one. Oh no. Okay, I see what I missed. Wow. Okay, I must have jumped down. I thought I started with this one. Oh, that's why. Lol. I'm stupid. Okay. Anyway, I was gonna start with this one. Now, I've already spoken. This is the one I was going to start with. On this team, you sell Gasly, right? But you already have Haas. Perfect. You sell Gasly to something else. Limitless and Imola. Let's see. What's this? Ferrari. Oh no. Ocon and Mercedes for Lawson and Ferrari. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Brandon, that seems reasonable. I would probably do that. No negative is tempting. Not for me. Okay. We have some cooking here. Tello says, first is current. I'm still budget building, no intention of using Limitless. Interesting. Cost cap is 104.8 on the lower side. Norris to Piastri, Doohan to Lawson, no brain selections, leaving one. Okay, let's see. First is current. Then we have... Okay, so this is your current team. Whew, unlucky break with the team here. Okay, so this is more towards the meta. Running Antonelli, keeping Haas in there for budget building. Again, also more meta. Albon. Albon is not going to build you enough budget, I think. If your strategy is purely budget building, Albon is not going to help you with that too much. He's just going to increase 0.2 million. Albon is like backing up for points, right? I would much rather have Ocon in here than Alex Albon. Yeah, so this was current. You're selling Ocon in all of them. Is that due to budget restraints? It doesn't look like it. I don't know why you're selling Ocon in all of these. Because this was start, right? Yeah, you're selling Ocon in all of them, but Ocon looks really good for budgets. Antonelli sprint qualifying also pressed to subscribe right for the whole weekend or following it or play it safe. I don't think like Antonelli is a choice you can make, but realistically, like Norris to Piastri is the obvious move that you should do on really all of them. But I wouldn't take any -10s here, and I mean realistically, the only two assets you need to get rid of are Norris and Doohan. So I would just downgrade Norris to Piastri and upgrade Doohan to, again, whichever. If you go for Antonelli, sure. But then you also have to... do you have 3 free transfers, or are you taking a -10 here? I would definitely those -10 to get Antonelli in. You don't say anywhere if you have 3... Oh, you have 3 transfers. Okay, so you could do that. I guess if you're going for the Antonelli build... I mean, I think this is fine, right? If like Antonelli is the one you want to go for, but if you're not going for this one, you should probably like just stick with Ocon in here and just do like Piastri and Alonso. Is my opinion. I think Ocon is really good. I don't know why you're selling him in both of these options for Albon when your plan is budget building. I think Ocon is better than Albon currently. So that's my take. Very interesting teams though. Standard meta, we're gonna skip that for now. Here we have Gasly and Doohan on 3 free transfers. I think you have a very, very easy time. Maymetis D. Gasly and Doohan's gotta go, right? You could go for either Bortoleto plus someone more expensive, like an Ocon. But maybe you could just afford to do Gasly to Ocon or Doohan to... and then Doohan to like Alonso or Lawson or whatever. I think you have a very, very easy time making decisions today. Alright, Celtic. We have current team. Very, very interesting with Alpine, once again. We already briefly discussed Alpine, and I think it's completely reasonable to keep Alpine this week. But you have options here: Russell and Alpine out for Lawson and Merck in. I think it's a very, simple decision, which is going to ensure you more points. But if your plan is, on limitlessing in Imola, you might as well take the risk with running a cheap constructor. Though I do think all of your suggestions involved getting Mercedes in there. Yes, if you're banking on Mercedes here, I think realistically it's probably Alonso. Instead of Lawson and Bortoleto. That's what I would say. Let's see. We have 3 drivers are stuck between Limitless and prepping for Imola. If not Limitless, might not take any transfers. Yeah, I mean, if you're not Limitless and your team looks perfectly fine, maybe you do Bortoleto to Alonso. If Limitless, in Arthur Sims we trust. Yep, I agree. Okay, more standard meta. We're gonna skip that for now. I think most of these are standard meta, though we have to look at this monstrosity. Okay, is anyone fluent in Calendari? Like, I'm just asking for a friend. Plan to Limitless and Imola. All right. Current team with 2 transfers. Piastri, Russell. Okay. Gasly, gotta go. Alpine, could go. I think right. So yeah, you either switch to meta, obviously. Is this a -10 for you? It is a -10. Did you guys hear that? Graphic design is his passion. That's so funny. Did you guys hear that in the background? That was weird. Okay. Anyway. What even was that? Hold up. Alright, whatever that was, able not to disturb us any further. Anyway, we even have, this is my current league rivals team and our points situation. Interesting. A lot to consider. I think the -10 is rough. And especially since your plan is to Limitless in Imola, I would not -10 it. Okay? I would... I know you're behind on your rival by a significant margin. But at this point, just take it on the chin. Go for Haas. And Limitless in Imola, gain the budget, and then get out. I think taking -10 to chase a team like this... Obviously, you could chase for points now, but like he also doesn't have that team, right? He's running Antonelli type teams. So I would consider just doing this, Limitless in Imola, and then try and catch him by going to this sort of team afterwards. Check the weather rain, no negative time, wet sprint race incoming. I am looking at it. I don't think it's bad enough that I want to go for it though. Though it will be the first time it rains in Miami, so the more people are screaming it, but I don't think it's happening. It's raining pretty decently now. Yeah, I can see that on the stream. Okay, wait, what does the weather look like tomorrow? Alright, Calendari, I vote go for this since your plan is to Limitless in Imola. Don't take the -10 and you're gonna catch up in no time. I'm sure of it. Alright, unfortunately, we have a lot of things here. But we need to do F1 Predict, we need to check the weather, and I need to lock in my team and do team submissions. So thank you so much for all the team submissions. 22 new messages. I cannot get to all of them. Let us do do. If you are playing F1 Predict, I think it's fun. So let's lock in my predictions. If you don't know, you just click this little drop-down menu here, and you can play it no problem. We're gonna look at the weather after and make a decision on if we know negative or not. All right, F1 Predict. Make your predictions. Let's see. Predict the podium. This is in the main race. Wow, you get no points for predicting these guys now. Kimi Antonelli 30 points. Oof. That's almost worth a shout. Let's just do this, and Kimi Antonelli. Boom, just for fun. Apply chip. Easy. Infinite points, if I get that right. Who will finish ahead in the sprint? It will definitely not be Hulkenberg. It will definitely not be Stroll. Gasly, I don't get any points for, so I'm going to say Ocon. How many different teams will score points from the sprint? It will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do we think 6? I assume 5 is the lowest. Oh, it's not going to be 4 for sure. It's 5 or 6. Let's just do 5. The points increase is not enough for me to go for 6 here. Who will take pole position? I'm gonna say that. Do we think Kimi Antonelli does it? I mean, look at the points you get for predicting Kimi again. I mean, it's gonna rain though. Just slot in a little cheeky Max Verstappen in there. Who will qualify highest for the Grand Prix? Kimi Antonelli. How many classified finishers? Let's do 19. We're gonna lose 1. Will there be a safety car or VSC during the GP? I'm gonna say no because it gives more points. Who will set the fastest lap time of Sunday's race? Impossible to predict, but we'll just slap. Let's just slap Piastri in there. Why not? Which team will record the fastest pit stop? Easiest decision of my life. At least we're good at something. Which team will score more points this weekend? I don't think Hadjar is going to score points in the sprint. So maybe we predict Alpine for more points. Predict Gasly finishes ahead of Hadjar. Why not? Back to home. Okay, we have 30 minutes. It's time to lock in my team. All right, let's get the weather up here. Weather, Miami, GP. It's looking rainy. What time, local time, is the race tomorrow? Does anyone know, so I don't have to like scroll through a million things to look it up? Would you keep Russell and not take Ocon to save the -10, even if Limitless and Imola? Maybe, yeah. I think so. Sorry, I had to leave in 5 minutes. Are we going no negative here? That's what we're trying to figure out. It starts at noon. Is that the race? No, not this one. Not the sprint race. I'm meaning the feature race tomorrow. Is that at noon or is it later? It's only 6 hours, right? So it's is it like 4 p.m.? Race is 4 p.m. local. Okay, thank you, Bambi. Tomorrow it's looking like rain. Ooh, is no negative worth it due to weather and having 2 competitive sessions for DNF and rain? Turn 1 could be spicy. 4 p.m. Miami time. Okay, I hadn't considered it really until like 5 minutes ago when I looked over at the stream and the live feed and saw the rain. We've never seen Miami rain, Miami GP in the rain, so we don't know how that track is gonna hold up. And also, it's early in the season. We're running rookies, right? We have a lot of us have Bortoleto. We have Bearman in there. It's a sprint weekend. And if you know negative now, that leaves you more time to maybe like pop a 3x in Brazil. I mean, the rain definitely makes me question the Limitless more. That's for sure. That's for sure. It is raining in Miami. Yep. I am well aware. Wow. Okay, let me... I don't know, man. This is so interesting. I'm considering it. Yeah, Limitless is a massive hazard now. I think this makes Limitless even worse. Okay, let's do... I know I'm switching around what I'm doing a lot. The reason I had this prepped before the stream, obviously, didn't reach the goal. That's fine. Didn't expect it. We've reached half past, meaning it's time for Raid Fantasy's #1 tip of the week. Limitless edition. Don't do it! I mean, hey, let me just I refuse to use the fill tool. Is it so bad? Don't use it. I think it's suboptimal. Listen, I just think the Limitless is suboptimal. Don't do it. Why is Limitless bad? Okay, Limitless is bad because it's raining. If Max Verstappen or Lando Norris has a DNF, your Limitless is destroyed. What? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, I'm popping no negative. I don't care. You should have said that earlier. Hey. Oh no. Is Leclerc actually in the wall? Hold up. Oh, this is chaos. This is actually just straight up chaos. Hold up. I need to mute the music, otherwise I can... I will leak audio. Is Leclerc actually in the wall? Or is this an elaborate troll? Why can't I find the... I need to look at this. Why can't I... There we go. Oh, I don't even have it up. Oh, Viaplay hasn't even started it. Is he actually in the wall? Oh my god. Is he actually out? Hold up. Alright, link it in the Discord. Link it in the Discord. We need this confirmed now. Viaplay's stream hasn't even started yet. Yep, Formula 1 just tweeted it. 35 seconds. Oh my god. Oh, look at the track, dude. Oh, that car is destroyed. He's not racing. Okay, yeah, I mean, where's my boop, F tier. And this is why you don't make transfers until the deadline, because 25 minutes before the deadline shit can happen. Let's just make a new tier here, called Giga F. Avoid. This is actually crazy. It's on the pre-show, yeah. What does this mean for his starting position? He's not starting the race. This is why you always wait to lock in the stream. Is tip of the week use no negative? I mean, it might be. Okay, I need. We have 25 minutes to make. Oh my god. Yeah. I mean, okay. Listen. Don't. No limitless. No limitless. This. If you've already made transfers. What? Bearman? No. What? Is there more? Is Bearman out? That's why you don't activate it. That's why you don't activate it. Wait, is Bearman out or am I getting trolled? I want to lock in my team, but I can't lock in my team now if, like, drivers are going to crash before I can even watch them. There's no way this is just starting regularly, right? Like, this race is going to start on the safety car. If it's this bad. You guys are my eyes and ears now. I'm not going to look in my team until like 5 minutes. Okay, Bearman is okay. He just went off track, couldn't brake. Okay, he went into the runoff. Okay. Thank God. Yeah. Okay. No. We're actually just not doing this. Don't say I can't change my mind. Boom. It's done. I'm doing no negative. This is the most stinky no negative of all time, and it's gonna rain tomorrow for the race. Yeah, I'm in no negative. Alright, the question then is, who am I selling Bortoleto for? I'm keeping Mercedes. I'm not good. I'm not doing Haas. But I'm not making this transfer yet because, you know, what if, I don't know, what if I buy Alonso and then he crashes? Yeah, no negative active. Bearman ran off the track. That's fine. I'm happy. I'm okay with it running off the track as long as it doesn't hit the wall. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm just gonna tweet out that no negatives active. Oh my god, this is absolute chaos. This has never happened before in a deadline stream. No negative active. I cannot believe this is happening. I'm sorry, I'm like lost for words. What was I gonna do? I'm happy we did F1 predict. What have I not done? Okay, we did tip of the week. I need to look at all my teams, but I don't want to make transfers. Delayed start. Well, delayed start does not mean delayed team lock deadline. Stroll masterclass is happening. So much drama in the F1 fantasy in the world already. Yup. Show the team for the day. Well, okay, I'm using no negative. I mean, this is the most stinky no negative of all time. Nothing has ever smelled more no negative ever. Insane. Not going to be running for the race, just a sprint. The weather app I'm looking at is looking like it's gonna rain. Or at least there's like there's a risk for it. Yeah, I don't know what to do, man. Okay, let me. Oh my god, I need to make moves with my other teams. Well, I know I'm doing this, so. Oh yeah, I can't afford Ocon with this team. Unlucky. Yeah, we're doing no negative here. Okay, now the real question is, what am I doing with my actual teams? AKA my teams that are doing well. Boom, remove. Yeah, this is easy. We just do like we'll just rock Bortoletto here. Who cares? And then here. Bortoletto doing. Why no negative? Because of this. And because of no negative is active because of this. He just aquaplaned like crazy. Boom. Whoa. That landed in the crowd. That's why we're doing no negative. I hope I don't get banned for showing that. That's on Twitter. I can't get banned from that. Sure not. Yeah, that's what we're doing no negative. Best team, you've already activated Limitless. Avoid Ferrari with a 10-foot pole. You do Mercedes, Mercedes, Max. Triple Mercedes, triple McLaren, Max, right? That's the only Limitless team I can think of that's like not bad. I cannot believe that Leclerc just hit the wall like that. 300 people in the stream, 200 likes in the stream. Thank you so much, guys. If you don't activate Limitless, we still haven't decided what to do. I don't know like which driver to buy, if I'm going for an Alonso or Lawson. I think I'm doing Alonso mainly. But like it's not fun. It is not fun. I'll do Lawson on this team, just a bit different. And then, yeah, I can close this now because this is done. Let me put the music back on. Are we applying no negative? I'm locked. Oh wait, I should activate no negative on my other team as well. Actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, for sure. Like, that team is like top 10k. I need to play optimally on that one. Fantasy. Accept all, sign in. Yeah, no negative is active, guys. It's a rainy sprint race, what can I say? Alright, yep, no negatives acting on all my teams. I mean, not on these ones, but all my teams that are viable. Actually, should I do it on this one too? I mean, I should be differential, right? I'll keep it on this one, just in case. Alright, any final questions from chat? I still haven't decided what transfer I'm doing here. Stopped raining? Well, still a wet race. Limitless team, please. Triple Mercedes, triple McLaren, and Verstappen. Is Haas still worth it? Haas is still worth it if you're planning on limitlessing in Imola. No negative on Limitless? 100% no negative. I think, I mean, tip of the week is literally don't. I'm gonna post this on Twitter too. There's a possibility for rain tomorrow too, by the way. Quick pin on that one. Alright, let's see. Max or Piastri? Piastri. Also, did you see the Australian federal election? Yes. Yep. Charles Clash, we saw that. Ocon still looking good. Ocon still looks fine. Yep. Alonso over Hadjar? No, I put Hadjar. Hadjar and Behrman are my two tops, like, in terms of cheap assets. I think Behrman and Hadjar are number 1 and 2. And then after that, it's, like, kind of close between a bunch of drivers. No negative? Yup, no negative is active. Leclerc all running the wall? Yup. Would you prioritize putting Ocon or Alonso in your team? I think they're very close. I think it depends on your budgets. I prefer Ocon, but like if that's gonna keep you from getting Sainz next week, I would say Alonso, because I do think like Sainz will be one of the must-buys next week unless he crashes. What's the angle of your top 10k team? So my total goal is to be top 10k, right? But this team is so far behind that like if I can get this team to top 20k, I'm happy. For my current top 10k team, I would, like, my plan there, since I've already used Limitless, is just try and mitigate losses for now, and then see how far I can go. I think you could definitely, like, finish top 1k this year. Should we no negative on all teams? Okay, I'm spreading the risk a little bit, but I am no negative on all my 2 best teams I have activated no negative. It's like 1 team I've not done no negative on. I plan on Limitless and Imola will replace Gasly with Ocon. Worth replacing Bortoleto with Alonso. That's what I'm figuring like right now. It's 13 minutes until the deadline. I think I'm doing Bortoleto to Alonso. I think that's my transfer. I think that's my transfer. Is Ferrari a no-go? Yup. I mean, Ferrari's gonna get a -20, and Leclerc is gonna get a -20 as well for not starting the race, not starting the sprint. So I mean, you have to sell Ferrari now. Ferrari are must-sells. Isn't no negative better in Brazil? Well, I mean, this is a rainy sprint race. What more do you want? The reason we're saving it for Brazil is because Brazil is rainy. Often, right? But here we have a sprint weekend with rain on a dangerous track where there's never been rain before. It stinks of it reeks of no negative. Why Bortoleto in your team and not Lawson? I'm selling Bortoleto to either Alonso or Lawson, and I think I'm doing Alonso over Lawson. Why not Lawson plus Alonso? Because I prefer Ocon over the 2 of them, and Behrman and Hadjar are my mains. Instead of Ocon, Bortoleto. I prefer Ocon over both Alonso and Lawson, actually. Hadjar or Alonso? Hadjar. Wildcard or -20 hits? Wildcard. Though if you haven't used Limitless yet, I think it's reasonable to do budget building here in Miami, Limitless in Imola, and then Wildcard in Monaco. So I don't think you have to do the like -20 hits Wildcard play now to switch to points. You could definitely afford to budget build for 1 more race, and then Limitless in Imola. Why not Lawson instead of Ocon? I prefer Ocon. I think Ocon is better. We've seen that Haas have race pace before, and Ocon is equally likely to increase in price as Liam is. But it's a good question. Like, I don't think it's, it's pretty close. Like, I mean, they're all A-tier assets. Like, all 4 of these assets are decent. 11 minutes until the deadline, guys. Ocon might drop in Imola. Yeah, for sure. So I think, you could definitely go for someone else. But I think Ocon looks likely to rise in price now and get points. And I'm not even 100% I'm going to Limitless in Imola. But I guess that's true, right? If I'm planning on Limitless in Imola with this team, maybe I do sell Ocon because I can't sell to Sainz. Maybe you persuaded me there, Luis, actually. And also, if I book in, I'm gonna Limitless on this team. It is Lawson then, right? Why not Lawson instead of Ocon? Yeah. What's the budget builder for Lawson say? Lawson's only on a 5-pointer here, though. Ugh. Like, sure, Ocon. I think it's pretty close. It's really close. Why do you like Alonso over Bortoleto? Because Alonso's a 36% likelihood to increase 0.6 and Bortoleto only has a 25%. And I think, like, I'm building budgets. I'm trying to increase in budget, not limit myself with an asset that's not going to drop in price. Is it worth getting Sainz now for Ocon? I discussed that earlier, and I think it's... If you're 100% on Limitlessing in Imola, I think it's not bad, because you're likely going to want Sainz in Monaco anyway. Are you worried about anyone else in the rain? I'm worried about everyone in the rain. 9 minutes to go. Yeah, keep it as it is. Worst case, someone didn't have, so you can prep for Limitless in Monaco instead. Yep. I wish K-Mag was back. Should I pick Alonso over Ocon for Limitless in Imola? That's kind of what we're discussing now. I'm thinking more about Ocon as an option, but I think Ocon's still decent. I think, like, obviously he's only at a 6-pointer here, which Lawson's on a 5-pointer here. We're gonna look at previous rounds, right? Try and predict it. But say Ocon only increases 0.2 million this race. I think he could be on, and like, you gotta remember that it is a sprint weekend, so there's a lot of points on the line. Okay, genuine question. Genuine question. Leclerc is likely out, right? There's no way he's starting the sprint. Like, how will they fix... They won't fix that car. So, I assume there's going to be an empty grid spot where Leclerc used to stand. Does that mean that, like, every driver behind him is going to increase one position automatically? Limitless yesterday, bad mistake, any silver linings? Yeah, it's high risk, high reward. Piastri apparently has 4 damage. Are you kidding me? Okay, I mean, no negative, bro. It's the most no negative. I don't think no negative is necessary if there's no rain tomorrow. Piastri has 4 damage. There you go. Okay, yeah, it's negative. It's no negative. Why would you Limitless in Imola and not another sprint weekend? They're like, I've made like 14 videos about it. But mathematically, it's more optimal. Go and watch Formula Fantasy Hub's video on it. He explains it the best. But I also have a full video dedicated to it, and I wholeheartedly, mathematically think it is optimal to use Limitless in non-sprint weekends. Confirmed doubts. Okay, but my question is no. I think Piastri's fine, right? What happened to Leclerc? He hit the wall really fast. What's the team? I don't know. I have 7 minutes to decide. I haven't locked in. Okay, listen. I am going Alonso on like every other on my other team, or I mean Ocon on other teams. No, I don't think Piastri's out. Yeah, Piastri's in there. They're taping at the floor on front left and onboard cam. Thank you, Fraser. Important thing. Okay, but actual question. I need to know this. Leclerc's out, right? Leclerc's confirmed out. We know this. Leclerc's confirmed out. His grid box is going to be empty, right? They're not going to move everyone up to start like an empty... Like, that grid box is just going to be empty. Does everyone that starts behind him now get 1 position gained in the race automatically? Because that's big. That actually influences my decision on Ocon. Behrman's fine. Behrman's probably fine. He just ran off the track. Yeah, they do. Exactly. Okay, so I'm keeping Ocon then. Okay, I'm just doing this to Alonso. I'm not doing Lawson. There might be a rolling start. No, it definitely might. Piastri could drop a lot. Yeah, sure. No negative. What's the final team I got to go? I don't know, man. Okay, I'm doing this. I'm gonna just do 1 transfer. I'm gonna keep Ocon. I know some people are saying do Alonso and Lawson. I don't think that's bad. I think you can definitely do... Listen, again, look at my thing here. Ocon, Alonso, Lawson, Bortoleto, all 4 of them are completely viable and decent picks. I think even if you have the budget, you could stretch it to an Albon. I think the Sainz play is interesting and definitely not, suboptimal. But I'm doing this for this team. No negatives active on most of my teams. Confirm changes. That's all my transfers done. Boom. Can I afford to do Bortoleto up to Lawson here? I can't. Okay, we're keeping it. Boom. That's teams. This team... I'll do Ocon out, actually, for this team. Alright. I mean, this team is so far behind, it doesn't even matter. Okay. Weather-wise, no negative, yes or no? I think yes. I don't know what... I think we've been waiting for a sprint race that rains, and it's a dangerous track. I mean, I think no negative is easy. Alright, that's my team. Team confirmed. Team locked in. Team is locked in. Alright, everyone. I need everyone in this chat right now, before you run off, to like the stream. And if you have Twitter, I know, like, if you don't have Twitter, that's fine. If you have Twitter, go to this post and interact with it, because I think it's funny. Let's see. I'm gonna tweet out that this is my team. Team locked. Team locked. For the Miami... No negative active. Bortoleto out for Alonso. The on. Quick little cheeky hashtag F1 fantasy. Post the image. Boom. What a hectic stream. I definitely forgot to do some stuff. I feel like I've forgotten to do some stuff. But, I mean, when Leclerc crashes before I'm even watching the sports, like, woof. Why Bortoleto out? Because I'm looking to gain budgets, not just stagnate, right? And I have enough money in the bank to upgrade Bortoleto to Alonso with one move. And I think Alonso looks likely to increase in price this race. So I'm going Alonso in. Miami for 2041? Yup, I saw that. Ocon or Alonso? I think it's really close. Really, really close. I don't actually know who I prefer. I couldn't tell you. I think Ocon, Alonso, and Lawson are really, really close. Yeah, if you just joined for some reason, 2 minutes to go. Don't Limitless. Alright. We'll do a quick little freelancer play. Any final last minute questions? Bortoleto or Doohan? Bortoleto 100%. Doohan SSL. Ocon or Antonelli? I mean, Antonelli for points, obviously. But Ocon for budget gains. But like, if it's Ocon or Antonelli, you probably go Antonelli, right? But the optimal Limitless, if you have Limitless, is triple Mercedes, triple McLaren, Verstappen. But broadcast saying Leclerc out, starting on the safety car on the hour. Okay, very, very interesting. It's not raining now, right? Wow, wow, wow. What carnage? No negative or the chip? I don't know what the chip is. No negative is. No negative it is. It is raining now. Yeah. It is still raining. I have seen teams who are because of Alonso have to stick with Bortoleto. That's completely fine. I think that's entirely reasonable. Antonelli versus Russell, I think is really close, but I would just slightly edge to Russell, even though Antonelli is starting on pole. Though maybe he looks likely to win the sprint now. And Antonelli is way more likely to get driver of the day, so maybe it is Antonelli actually. I meant save the chip. Okay, I think we use no negative. Remove duo for fear of DNF, then play the no negative anyway, slaps head. I think it's fine. I mean, look, you have Hadjar, Bearman. Bearman didn't look great in the rainy Australia, right? People forget this. I went for Alonso, pray for me. I'm also running Alonso, but no negative makes me feel a bit safer. Yeah, good luck, everyone. Alright, that is the deadline. Insane. Wow, wow, wow. That is insane. Hope we can avoid the landmines. Well, I'm hoping for the landmines now because I've activated no negative. Australia giving everyone paranoia with the rain? Yup. But I mean, this is sprint weekend and it's not impossible that it might rain tomorrow. Alright, if you haven't liked the stream, subscribe to the channel, make sure you follow me on all the social media. All the links are in the description below. Make sure you go to this one. Let's see. If you're still here, thank you so much for being here. Go interact with this post on Twitter. And yeah, I'm gonna go and enjoy watching the sprints. So yeah. I will probably not stand online for this. So I will talk to you if something happens during qualifying. Obviously, if there's final fix situations or similar, just come to my channel right after a session, and I will try and get it up. Science only one of full wets is really interesting. Can't wait to watch the sprint race. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next one. Video on Monday. What a crazy, crazy deadline stream. Yeah, enjoy the sprint, everyone. Bye-bye.